Hi guys, welcome to yet another review by Careful Optimist. So today, I am unboxing two very small, very unpretentious devices from HIDIZS. One hand is the S2 Pro 3.5mm Special Edition in-ear monitors, and on the other hand is the S9 Pro Plus DAC-amp. So, nothing flashy here, no luxury theater, but as I've been listening, it's become clear that HIDIZS is doing something quite deliberate, not just with sound, but with how products are made and consumed. HIDIZS is a Chinese audio brand that came out of the Shenzhen engineering scene in mid-2010s. And instead of chasing luxury or hype, they focus on clean, no-nonsense DAC and earphones that are about sound quality first, not spectacle. Let's start with the S2 Pro Special Edition. This is a dynamic driver IEM or in-ear monitor, not planar, and that matters. It uses a 10.2mm dual magnetic circuit dynamic driver with a PU and PEEK composite diagram. In plain terms, that means more control over the driver movement, cleaner transient, bass that's textured rather than boomy, and a mid-range that's very vocal forward. The tuning is aligned with the H2019 target or the Herman curve, which is a standardized tuning for the average listener. So it's not flat, but perceptually balanced. My experience so far has been that the vocals sit front and center, especially high-pitched or female voices, and the treble is bright but smooth, not spiky. So I listen to the likes of Dua Lipa, who is, by the way, one of my favorite musicians, Whitney Houston, and even Taylor Swift, just to test. They really produce the female voices much better. As for male vocals, they do well as well, but one senses a bit of tightness. Even the manufacturers are transparent about this, that the S2 Pro is tuned for female pop vocals. Even they call it like K-pop, you know? In terms of overall feel of the sound signature, what stands out for me is compactness. The bass doesn't rumble, it's sculpted, and I am pleasantly surprised as to how well resolved they sound. The sound stage doesn't stretch wide, it stays focused. Separation is very good, but within a contained space. This makes it feel more almost like a monitoring IEM rather than a wow factor one. In fact, I've used it to edit a podcast episode, and I will even use it to monitor the sound for this review that I'm currently filming. That's how good it is. Also, it is very easy to drive because it comes with a low impedance of 32 ohms. Very comfortable, lightweight, standard 2-pin cable, straight 3.5mm analog. Nothing exotic, straight out of the box. Now, when it comes to comfort, it is quite comfortable, surprisingly so, by the way, because again, I thought there will be issues with fitting my ears and research hasn't been done and all that, but that is not the case. There's no ear fatigue whatsoever. One thing though, be sure to install the cable to the correct earbuds, properly following the included instructions. Don't assume you know how to do this because it's not that straightforward. This is important both for comfort and also for sound accuracy. This is the S9 Pro Plus, a tiny dongle DAC amp, smaller than a finger, but surprisingly serious. Inside, it is built around ES DAC with a strong, stable output stage. What's important here is not loudness, but stability of current and headroom. This DAC doesn't do DSP tricks. no bass boost, no widening, no coloration. It just converts digital to analog cleanly and stays out of the way. One thing worth mentioning though, it has 6 DAC reconstruction filters. These aren't EQ presets. They don't change the tuning. They change how digital audio is reconstructed in time. Now, the default filter is called apodizing fast roll-off, which prioritizes cleanliness and density over exaggerated space. That actually explains a lot of what I'm hearing. The S9 Pro is able to handle high-res audio up to 32-bit 768 kHz. Now, with this pairing, high-resolution music sounds dense, compact, and very resolved. At high sample rates, like 192 kHz, there's clearly information. You feel the headroom of the S9 Pro. This is where you feel the compactness of the ST2 Pro. Oftentimes, I find myself reflexively reaching for a higher volume just to open up the soundstage a little bit. But instead, what I get is more brightness. What is happening there is that at this level, there is more information. One feels this thanks to the S9 Pro, but no additional space exaggeration to distribute this. So instead of sounding bigger, the sound becomes denser and more compact. From this standpoint, this compactness feels like a limitation. This might be frustrating, especially because when what one hears is so good, they want to hear more. And the higher the resolution, the higher the demand for more and bigger and more. However, it must be understood that the compactness is indeed what makes the ST2 Pro and the S9 Pro such a successful feat of sound engineering. It is due to the low distortion, fidelity to audio content at source, tight motor control, no artificial crossfeed or DSP widening, and a conservative spatial cues. In other words, restraint. This is where the philosophy of HIDIZS becomes clear. They are not chasing luxury. They are not chasing spectacle. They are not chasing audiophile dopamine. Their gameplay seems to be strip things down, collapse the signal chain, spend money on the driver and the DAC, remove everything that performs for you, and most importantly, make high-quality audio listening possible without you having to break your wallet or the bank. Like I said, this is just a quick unboxing. I will make an extensive review of these devices. Maybe then there will be some updates to my opinion, or I may fine-tune what I have said. So keep an eye out for that. That's about it. Leave a comment below. Let's make this a conversation. On that note, I wish you a lovely day or night, depending on your time zone, and see you in the next video. Bye.